Welcome to lesson 315, combining like terms. Today we're going to talk about how to use properties of numbers to combine like terms and simplify expressions. Alright, so what I mean by simplify expressions, we're not going to actually solve it. We are going to just take like terms and put them together to make the expression easier to solve in less steps. So in this case, if I have 5y plus y, and I know y equals 2, I would have to put in 2 for each of these, do 5 times 2, and then add another 2. Instead of doing that, what I can do, since 5y and y are like terms, I know that using the identity property of multiplication, to have y by itself, I can multiply it by 1, because anything times 1 is itself. So I can replace y with 1y and it would still be the same thing. What that means is then I can take 5y plus 1y and put them together and get 6y. So now all I have to do is input for y and then multiply. Alright, so we're going to try and use this on our own. So the first thing we have to do is we have to find like terms. Like terms, remember, are terms that have the same variable. So in this case we have 8z and we have 3z. And right now, to solve, we would have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. We would have to multiply, 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 add, and then add. So we're going to try and make it so that way we have to do fewer steps. In this case, because these are like terms, since I have plus 3z, I'm going to take the 8z and add 3z to it. We're going to put them together and make them 11z. But since the 8y does not have a like term, we are going to leave it b, because that will be a completely different problem on its own. So now we turned it from 5 steps into multiply, multiply, add, into 3 steps. Right, so now this one, if you want to try it on your own, you can, but you have to remember we have to use the distributive property. The distributive property allows us to share a number that we're multiplying a quantity by. Remember, a quantity is what we have inside of the parentheses, because we have to do what's inside the parentheses first. And if we're multiplying that quantity by a number or by anything, we can share whatever that is with whatever is on the inside. So I can share the 4. I can do 4 times the w, and I can do 4 times the 2x. I can also do that over here and share the 9 with the negative 4w. So in this case, it would turn into 4 times w plus 8x plus 9 times the negative 4 would be a negative, positive and a negative gives you negative 36w. Okay, so now what I can do is I can take this 4w and this negative 36w and I can combine them. Since this is a positive and this is a negative, when we add them together, we're actually going to end up using subtraction, because when we have a positive and a negative, we subtract, and then we keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. So in this case, I have negative 36. So I'm going to do 36 minus 4 gives me 32. Because 36 is further away from 0 than 4 is, I'm going to keep the negative sign, and I have 8x plus a negative 32w. I can also rewrite this and say I have 8x minus 32w. Alright, so you have a few problems here to try on your own. As always, if you have any questions, please be sure to post them to Edmodo.